Beyond the Brave, Raw Yellow, and even Evil Lord Zork are finally arrived to the meta. Make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. We finally have a metagame breakdown here. This is going to be covering 31 tournaments held in Japan, China, mainland Indonesia, and South Korea during the 18th of July through August 2nd. We're a little bit now into the brand new set utility selection now. I wanted to take a step back here because this does paint a picture for, Beyond the Brave and how this new impact was going. So, this does include Beyond the Brave, Evil Lord Zork, and the limited pack Raw Yellow. Now, this is a pretty interesting breakdown because there's a couple of decks kind of unaccounted for here that feel like they've been a little bit more impactful on the meta than what we're kind of used to seeing. So 22.1% of the field was Toons. Elfnote had a 13.8. A Light and Darkness Ritual at 13.8. We also got to see Cool Toon bringing up the rear here at 9.7. The Branded at 5.5. Malice at 4.8. There is a really cool Ars Magna concept floating around right now with Malice that is worth looking into, but they don't even cover that in the chart here. We also had 3.4% Sky Striker. As you can tell, Elfnote has really been waking up here. Now let's look at some of these variants here. So there were 32 Toons. The 15 of them were Toon Risal. There were 16 pure, 1 Dark Magician Toon Risal. Elfnote, there was 1 Fiendsmith, 19 pure. And then Light and Darkness Ritual, just pick your poison on the variant that you want. There was a Fiendsmith S-Force Light and Darkness Ritual pile, which is crazy, and a Runic pile. We had 14 Cool Toon, 8 Branded, 7 Malice, 5 Sky Striker, 4 Yummy, 3 Destiny Hero, which Destiny Hero has been pretty innovated right now. You don't really get to see that in here, which is kind of sad, but it's interesting. We also had 3 Risal Mitsurugi. We also had 2 Witchcrafter, which, by the way, Witchcrafter has been coming along pretty strongly. I like how this deck has been developing. We also had 2 Blitzclick, 1 Blitzclick, 1 Risal Blitzclick, 2 Dracotail, 2 Fiendsmith Unchained, 2 Power Patron, 2 Power Patron Ars Magna, 2 Rocket, and then we had Ars Magna Archmage, a Call the Haunted deck, Clown Crew, Dark Magician, Time Wizard, Ritual of Light and Darkness, Clown Crew. That's hilarious. We had Endymion, a Grass Crystron Train FTK, Horror Shining Sark, Invoked, Necros Atlantis, the City of the Dragon, Onomatomet Umbral Horror, Phantom Knights, Speedroid Radiant Typhoon, and Toon Malice Draco Slayer Endymion. I will say, I feel like there's a couple of decks that have kind of creeped through here in this time span that they might have missed, but I feel like that's okay. So let's talk about Beyond the Brave. Beyond the Brave brought along the world's greatest gallant thief and Spatial Trunade, which saw the metagame shift towards board breakers. Toon has to be normal sum, or has to use the normal sum on Funny Buddy, so that they are unable to use Toon World's greatest gallant thief. On the other hand, Spatial Trunade is a fantastic addition to the side deck that every deck could run. Now, Spatial Trunade is a non-targeting removal card that returns up to 2 cards on the field to the hand. Then each player places cards from the hand on the bottom of the deck equal to the number of cards that were returned to the hand. Spatial Trunade could be used on both monsters and fallen traps, making a very flexible removal card that could be sided in many matchups. In the Toon deck, Spatial Trunade could also be used to return your own Toon World the Perfect from your field to your hand, allowing you to replay to activate its effect again. That's sad. With the Rise of a Pointer of the Red Lotus and Mind Crush in the side deck are useful for picking off the opponent's World Greatest Thief and Spatial Trunades. Anti-Spell Fragrance is also seeing play in the side deck. Stop the opponent's Gordian Slicers and Spatial Trunades. Alright, so what does a Toon deck look like right now? Well, it's just as you said. Your main deck is going to be dedicated to the same level of degeneracy that we've been seeing with this deck. But now, post-side decking, you're bringing in Anti-Scam, we're bringing in a Pointers, Mind Crush to stop these critically broken cards, stopping Gordian Slicer from actually resolving, underneath Mind Scan is even more insane than you could imagine. And of course, those Spatial Trunades getting you access to control options is very, very, very good. Honestly, I think they somehow managed to make Toons even more buffed than they were before. Like, I've already been testing this variant, or very close to this, and this deck is already just very, very stupid. Now let's talk about Elfnote. So this is a pretty extensive combo line here. So beyond the Brave, Elfnote got new support cards in the form of Ars Magna. You realize Medias could add one Ars Magna card from the deck to the hand, and could also special summon Archmage Dictorius from the extra deck, adding another negation effect to the Elfnote M board. So an opening hand of Prohibited Power Patron Portal Terminus now goes as follows. Now I'm not going to go too far into this, but the fact that you're going to see an Omega on 39 steps on this combo, and then further during the opponent's turn. Now, what does this M board get you on the Japan side? It gets you an Omega, banish face up one card, an Elfnote Teeny, banish face up random card from the opponent's hand, Ars Magna of Infinity to banish a monster, Baron to floor, Archmage Dictorius for one card or effect, Elfnote Rhapsody of Madness negates one face-up card, Elfnote Lucina returns a level 6 or lower monster your opponent controls in the hand, and Many Curious Power of Illusion to banish all cards the opponent controls. Now, in step 46, if Elfnote Teeny banish a monster from the opponent's hand, then you could also trigger Theorelize Medias, special Archmage Dictorius from the extra deck. Oh my god, that's disgusting. So with two cards banished from the hand by Omega, Elfnote Teeny, while having three negation effects from Baron, Dictorius, and the Elfnote's Rhapsody of Madness, it is very likely the opponent to break through the Elfnote opening board. That is disgusting. See, this is why I'm glad that we banned Baron to floor, because I don't think it should metaphysically be possible or allowed for you to just be able to push through all of that. Now, also, you do see, I mean, you're playing Elfnote, right? Like, your deck does not really give a crap about its normal summon. You're just going to play the World's Greatest Thief in the main deck just to be able to break through and get set up. We also see Special Trinades, Gordian Slicer. Yeah, this is what your meta's turned into. Now let's talk about Light and Darkness Ritual. Light and Darkness Ritual does not use the normal summon, so they could utilize the World's Greatest Gallant Thief. If you control no monsters, you could tribute some of the World's Greatest Thief face up by tributing monsters from your hand and or your opponent's field. And of course, it's a powerful card similar to Lava Golem. Spell Shattering Arrow is a new quick play that mentions the Light and Darkness Ritual and is another option to set with Griffo. Spell Shattering Arrow's effect could also destroy all face-up spells the opponent controls. Also, this card is a disruption against field spells or continuous spells. The other effect, show a ritual of Light and Darkness from the hand to change the attack of a monster on the field and negate its attack, is also a very useful disruption. So, what has this deck done to evolve? Well, the OCG absolutely loves playing the branded package in this deck. The TCG has been very against building that package in, but I don't really hate it. And I mean, like, your subnormal summon is like the Celtic Mystic Guard, but like, you don't even care. They're also just splashing this in as a one of, and congratulations, you know, you're effectively good to go with this. But the way that this list is looking, I mean, it looks pretty good. I do see we have all the Mulch Armies in the side deck. We also have access into the deck lockdown. We have Spatial Trinade also on call up, if need be, to disrupt. That's pretty good. Now let's talk about Cool Toon. Similar to Mind Crush and Prohibition is another option to stop board breakers for Cool Toon and Toons. Decks where you can look at your opponent's hand. Prohibition can declare directly what is in the opponent's hand. The declared card Prohibition cannot be normal summon, flip summon, or special summon, which is exclusively able to disable the World's Greatest Gallant Thief. That's hilarious, man. We're using Prohibition as a one of in the side deck to specifically stop a giant board breaker monster from eating our field. That is crazy. So Beyond the Brave had a moderate impact on the metagame, introducing two powerful cards, the World's Greatest Gallant Thief and Spatial Trinade, that promoted a shift towards board breakers in deck building. The current popular strategy is to use Maxi and the Mulch Army monsters to force the opponent into a smaller compromise end board that they could easily break through the World's Greatest Gallant Thief or Spatial Trinade. That actually makes sense. It forces the opponent to be minimized so that you can actually just crack their field. Okay. Beyond the Brave also gave Elfnote a massive boost with the new Ars Magna cards. And of course, the China City 2026 OCG Shenzhen was the first major tournament where Beyond the Brave and Limited Pack Raw Yellow could be played, but utility selection was not allowed. So that is going to be the 8889 event actually happening this weekend. So, my takeaway with this shows some very interesting choices in shifting in the meta. The fact that the Mulch Armies and Maxi are just playing into the World's Greatest Gallant Thief, and the fact that this card has had that level of impact on the meta is very, very, very interesting. That I think that says enough by itself to showcase how things are going. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.